This is unbelievable. Yesterday afternoon against the San Jose Sharks, the Oilers nearly get goalied yet again, but managed to find a way to win that one. All that and more today on Oilers Digest as we recap yesterday's game against the San Jose Sharks and give you a small preview tonight against the Ottawa Senators. But first, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. 5 away from 2,400 and 105 away from 25. I know we're getting nearer and nearer to Christmas Day and the World Juniors, and we will have lots of World Juniors content for you, especially from Bo Akey and Paul Fisher on Team USA. But let's get right into it. Askarov, and you shall receive. I know yesterday, if you did watch the game, it was quite the feat from Yaroslav Askarov. You can see here the deserved to win-o-meter. The Oilers taking that one 81.6% compared to San Jose's 18% there. You can say, okay, well, did they blow, San Jose out of the water with that, deserved to win-o-meter? They should have. But no, they survived yet another one, 3-2 in overtime. The same result yesterday as it was against the Boston Bruins in overtime. And folks, what a game it was. Luke Kunin makes it 1-0 San Jose when Kulak and Bouchard seem to both go into the corner there, leaving Kunin all alone there to take a pass from Alex Wenberg. Zach Hyman continues his goal-scoring streak, making it 1-1, and then Jan Ruda with a bit of a sneaker past the pads of Calvin Pickard there off the post in, making it 2-1 Sharks. In the second period, there was no scoring, and there was almost no scoring until 17 seconds left in the third period when Matthias Ekholm makes it 2-2. The Oilers all over the San Jose Sharks for the last 40 minutes of the game. Of course, it was a very slow and very slow and sloppy start for the Oilers to begin the first period, and that's become a trend, a worrisome trend here of Macklin Celebrini, which kind of threw Askarov there a little bit. I thought that, out of all the shots for Askarov to, not save, that would have been one of them there. But again, all over the second and third period, the Oilers fanning on open nets, missing open nets. It would have been, a lot, would have been a blowout for the Oilers if it wasn't for, some puck luck on the side of San Jose. When it comes to the scoring chances for both sides, you can see there's San Jose very scarce there around Calvin Pickard. There's the Oilers did limit San Jose to minimal attempts. Of course, there were a few partial breakaways for the Sharks there that Calvin Pickard stood strong on, especially there was one breakaway from Macklin Celebrini, but on the right side there, I mean, folks, it is not even close. The Edmonton Oilers playing a very strong perimeter game, lots of passing, lots of cycling, but not a whole lot of high danger chances yesterday, and that's something that they really need to improve on, just trying to get into the dirty areas yet again, because of course, you can't pass the puck into the net. You eventually need to shoot. And what comes to the expected goals there, of course, 3.7, I thought it would have been a lot higher. I don't think the expected goals takes into account for, straight up missing empty nets, but 3.7 compared to San Jose's 1.3. I think the only weak one there was the second goal from Jan Ruda, as Luke Kunin for that first one, again, all alone, and that's something you can't really blame Calvin Pickard on at all. And Leon Draisaitl had this to say after the game. He said, "These are always exciting and fun if they go your way." Keyword there being if. So I think we've done a good job the last two nights of finding a way to close out a game. You got to find a way to win any type of hockey game in this league. In the last two nights, we've certainly won them the same way. Of course, the Oilers, trying to find that desperation deep inside to get that tying goal, and they did that both against Boston and San Jose. Again, two teams at the opposite end of the spectrum. Boston a little stronger than San Jose, but for the Oilers, it seemed to be a very copy and paste game. Of course, Bob Stauffer here, the Edmonton Oilers almost got goalie tonight. Again, a recurring theme over the course of the season. It happened, with Jake Allen against the New Jersey Devils and Sam Montembeault against the Montreal Canadiens. But the Oilers on the other side of that coin for once. Yaroslav Askarov, brilliant 40 saves, and then McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman. Lots of stats here to go over. 3 assists for McDavid's 17 points in his last 8 games played. Leon Draisaitl, the game-winning goal in overtime. 7 goals for 12 assists for 19 points in his last 8 games played. And then Zach Hyman continuing his hot streak. 9 goals for 1 assist for 10 points in his last 8 games played. Of course, Calvin Pickard, like I said, 3 big saves on Celebrini, and Bob Stauffer echoes that. In Edmonton, now 10-2-0 in their last 12 games played, and that's not too shabby at all. And Kris Knoblauch sort of downplaying Yaroslav Askarov here a little bit, saying he had a heck of a game, and we have pre-scouts on the opposition goalies every game, and have our players watch the video. We knew what he was about, and he played very well tonight. He made a lot of key saves, and there were also many opportunities where we just missed the net. We did make him look better, but a lot of credit to him for playing well, and absolutely, Askarov, very sound in the net. Makes himself look big. Is, that's something goalies are taught. You can't just make yourself look small. You need to make yourself look as big as you can. And Askarov, for a good chunk of the game yesterday, did exactly that, and also some pretty slick saves to boot there. But the Oilers, again, 42 shots on net. Dominating the face-off dot once again, 20-20. Of course, they did concede a lot of the face-offs to Boston the other night, something that you don't expect them to see very often. Oilers again going 0 for 2 on the power play, but the penalty kill strong yet again, with San Jose going 0 for 1 on their only power play attempt there. So again, very strong offensive game for the Edmonton Oilers. And when it comes to the hockey stat card here, again, the usual suspects that you expect to have a strong game did have a strong game. Draisaitl, McDavid, Ekholm, Evan Bouchard, that Bouchard and Ekholm pairing, chef's kiss last night, just tremendous. But really, the only downside of last night's game was the fourth line. You can look there towards the bottom of the screen there. Jeff Skinner. I mean, I was singing the praises of Jeff Skinner throughout the offseason and into the beginning of the season. But, one has to think, what kind of fit does he have in this Oilers roster? Of course, Kris Knoblauch not really playing him to his strengths. I don't know if there's something there between Knoblauch and Skinner, where he doesn't really appreciate that he's not a complete 200-foot player, so something to keep an eye on, maybe closer to the trade deadline. But when it comes to the natural stat trick analytics page there, you can see Ekholm and Bouchard. I mean, 46 Corsi 4 compared to, Ekholm's 13, and then Bouchard's 44 compared to his 12. That is a dominant game by that pairing, something that you should see them do, often throughout the season. I'm not expecting that every single game there, but when you have the highs, you also have the lows there, of course. Not a very strong game from Matisse Janmark, Connor Brown, and Jeff Skinner especially. Of course, Ty Emberson, his first game against his old team, but, he's sort of, finding his own role on the Oilers, and he's been tremendous on the Oilers penalty kill. But, folks, that is not all. Tonight, the Oilers complete the second game of their back-to-back against the Ottawa Senators later on at 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain, before they do take off for their holiday break. Of course, the Senators on their Western Canadian road trip, as they've been kicked out of their home, the Canadian Tire place, arena, whatever you want to call it, for the World Junior Hockey Championships. And like I said, we will have lots of coverage for you throughout that tournament, especially on the two Oilers prospects. But the Senators coming off a 5-4 win in Vancouver last night, sort of helping out the Oilers. Not very happy I had to go to overtime giving Vancouver the point, but at least they did not let Vancouver get that second point. Just looking at the Ottawa lineup that they did have from last night, shouldn't expect many changes from either lineup tonight for the Oilers or Senators. Of course, the Oilers will roll with Stuart Skinner in net, as Calvin Pickard did get the crease yesterday. But when it comes to the Ottawa Senators, Brady Tkachuk, Tim Stützle, Claude Giroux, Ridley Gregg, Josh Norris, Drake Batherson, Nick Cousins, Shane Pinto, and Michael Amadio, who we were familiar with when he was a Golden Knight throughout that Oilers Knights playoff series. And then lastly here, Noah Gregor, Zach Ostapchuk, and Adam Gaudette. And on the back end here, Thomas Chabot and Nick Jensen, Jake Sanderson, who did get the overtime winner last night, and Travis Hamonic. And then lastly here, Tyler Clevin and Jacob Bernard-Docker. But the real story here for the Ottawa Senators here, Linus Ullmark, ever since they acquired him in free agency from or not free agency, it was a trade, I want to say, on Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. That very same day, there was a trade between the Bruins and Senators. Linus Ullmark being acquired from the Boston Bruins. They're putting up a .916 and a 2.37 for 12 wins in 22 games played this season, with 3 shutouts to boot. And he's been a big reason why the Senators are on a 6-game win streak heading into this one, as he's collected 5 wins of those 6. Of course, you can see Calgary, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Carolina, and Anaheim, and these are tremendous numbers. 2 shutouts in that point, and a .938 against the Calgary Flames, a .926 against the Penguins, and a .969 against the Anaheim Ducks. So the Oilers tonight should not be looking ahead to Christmas. They should be looking ahead to their opponent in the Ottawa Senators tonight. These two teams did match up last month in the month of November in Ottawa, so this is the second game of their 2-part series. And, it should be a very close one, should be an entertaining one. Of course, the two Germans, Stützle versus Draisaitl, and, with Senators, a young team with an identity to prove, and we will see that tonight. But that is it for today's video. Let me know what you thought about the last game against the Sharks, and let me know what you think about tonight's game against the Senators. We will be back with you with a recap tomorrow for the Senators. Make sure to subscribe here to the channel, and folks, enjoy the game tonight. Again, should be a good one as the holidays are rolling in. Let's go Oilers. Take care. I'm Matt.